Hey friends, it's Jessica, Pretty Prints and Paper, and now we are prepping for August. I really don't know where the time went. If anybody's in education, I feel like we are now in the Sunday of the summer, and I'm starting to panic a little bit with school starting in the fall in just a couple weeks. But now it's time to prep a new journal or setup for the month. So I will flip through how July actually worked, if those layouts that I designed actually turned out for me, and then some of my lessons learned and how I'm setting up for August. You'll notice that I moved into this beautiful Foxy Fix notebook cover, and this is a size 7, which fits May Designs notebooks and the moleskin, those large moleskin Kahie notebooks pretty well. And I'll show you how I set that up. So it's got 4 elastics, which is awesome. It's this beautiful ombre. No pockets, but I still love it. I've still got my 4 different inserts. I've got my rapid log, which is just a brain dump. This awesome dashboard that I made the other day. And then my planning insert, my collections insert, which I replace much less frequently now that I have it in a separate module. This is the back of that dashboard that I've got some stickers and washi and some fun things in. And then I've got my blogging insert. So I'll flip through my planning insert. Messed up. It's all good. This was this monthly view that I did with the stamp. I did these with the Foxy Fix foundation stamp for bullet journal, and all you do is you take that shape off of that thing, put it on an acrylic block, and then you can chalk or you can put the ink on it, and then the cool part is you can see theoretically where you place it, which is kind of cool. So you have to get the acrylic block separate if you're going to order off of foxyfix.com. I paired it down so that I only had a couple of my challenges that I did on Instagram per day. I really kind of scoured through, and I don't do them every single day. I just choose the ones that I have an interest in, and so I just wrote down a couple of those, as well as some of the posts that I wanted to make on my blog, and this has worked out really well. I really liked this. How this turned out, because I could reference back to the anchoring milestones for some of my projects at work, and see where I was at and prioritize those things week to week. My weeklies. I started using some stickers for fun. And this, I tried the rolling week, so you want to see my other video on how I set this up, but as you can see, I used it very lightly when I was at my conference. I set it up so I can see what the events were throughout that week, and then only use the dailies as much as I needed to, and since I was at a conference, it was pretty light in terms of tasks, so I didn't end up using a lot of it, which was actually great. It was really flexible. I didn't feel compelled to use it, and I didn't feel bad if I skipped, Tuesday or anything like that. I don't know how I would use it in my regularly paced life, so I will play around with that in the future. I lost my expense tracking and my gratitude log, so I'd have to find a way to recover that, and I would probably make this a little more narrow just to be able to fit more into the dailies section. So with this Friday taking up all the way to here, I just went and did my weekend on the other side. I had the watercolor incident of 2016. Occupational hazard, I guess, but I just definitely spilled a ton everywhere. It's still not out of my carpet. Oh, that was my cat. It's fine. And here I used to use some super thin washi to outline my week. I have some things going on for work here, so I just created new sections. And here's like where this messy part is. Sometimes when I get like super random thoughts in my mind, like I was reading for a project I was doing, and I just had quick thoughts that I just wanted to jot down. So I put them on a bunch of Post-its, and I'm going to process them later. So now that I've captured my thoughts, I can go through and put them in the right place, but knowing that I've captured them. I know that seems a little outside of the original bullet journal system, but that's how I'm going to do it. This is my running sheet of all the things I needed to check in with other people, like a waiting on sheet, which you'll see how I'm incorporating that into August. So with that, here's what we're doing for August. Here we go. This reviewing time is critical for anybody who's just starting off with the bullet journal. There's too many ideas out there for you to incorporate, so you really need to take the time to think about what is working and what is not. Oh, and the other thing, here are the collections that I kind of created throughout June. My collections in here, you guys, it's not really fancy at all. I just quick set really quick headers and jot things down. And that was in my collections insert. Okay, August. I picked a purple theme for August and kind of went with the same thing. Almost messed up the spacing on the stamps, but I saved it. I did the gray again with the numbers, which I love. I used the lightest gray, which is like the N89 in the Tombow dual brush, and I love the look of it, much better than the other darker gray. And again, I went through all of the Instagram challenges that I am going to participate in and just picked a couple of my favorites of those days to incorporate into my week and my rhythm. I'm continuing with this layout and adding a couple twists to it. I added in the rapid log. My cat is just wanting to say hi, I guess. And added a couple categories. I've done this before, and I am curious as to how it will work this time. Because it hasn't worked for me in the past, but I'm trying it again. So just because an experiment failed for me once before doesn't mean I'm not going to try it again. So there are my categories. I added the weighting section because I was really liking how this was working. So I'm going to add it to my monthly layout and see how that goes. I might run out of room. Who knows? Projects. You can see I kind of messed this up with the stamp because I used the stamp that was one size too big and it didn't fit. So word to the wise, measure it out. My bad. Nothing at whiteout couldn't fix, right? So I added all these hives for the projects that I'm working on. A couple of them are blank because I want to leave some space for whatever emerges in August. I don't want to fill up everything and claim all the space. As a teacher, I try to leave room in my lesson plans to address things that come up in class, and actually taking up the whole entire time with pre-planned stuff makes for some of my most boring classes. So I'm kind of taking that into my planning realm as well. So I will roll over some of the tasks at the beginning of the month once it actually is August 1st, and then hopefully accomplish them throughout August. You're familiar with this. This is my weekly log, 5 days a week. That's my work week. Dotted lines for the top 3 tasks of the day. Adding my tasks and appointments here. My gratitude log here, which has been working out really well. And then I shrank the expenses line in hopes that if I make the space smaller, that it would encourage me to not spend money on so many things that fills up all the lines. I'm really going to think about what habits I'm going to track next month. I think I'm lacking in the 5 minutes of doing nothing thing habit that I wanted to start, so I'm going to think about what ones I really want to use in August. But in this section, I'm going to try kind of more like the get to work planner that I've seen. They have like a project and then like 2 next steps. So I'm going to play around with how that looks when I actually get to the time and write in maybe like one of those milestones from this page and then the next steps that I need to take this particular week to achieve that. I don't know. We'll play around with it. We'll see. And then the weekend, we'll see how it goes. That's how I'm doing it. That's how I'm setting it up in this beautiful, beautiful notebook. So every month, think through what has worked, what doesn't work, and then adjust it to work better for me. Let me know what you're doing. How are you using the bullet journal this month? What are your plans? I'd love to know. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever. But most of all, I hope that you and my cat enjoy. See you in my next video. Bye.